What's up, everybody? Glad you're back here. We're at Sema 360. This is day 3, episode 4. Glad to be here. I'm Dustin Jackson, the owner of Detail Booking.
I'm Ryan Hagan, the sales manager here at Detail Booking. We've got a special guest. This is Candace from EasyN. And Candace, tell us what you do at EasyN.
Hey, I'm the customer relations manager here at EasyN. I do all of our scheduling, estimating, dealing with the customers on a regular basis, just explaining to them what exactly they're getting whenever they schedule something with us.
Yeah, Candace plays a huge role here at EasyN. Honestly, we couldn't run without her. She takes that position and she handles all the phone calls coming in, managing the estimates, giving the customers their information, then putting those jobs once we book them on schedule and stuff. And so you're real familiar with drag and drop feature on the calendars. You use that pretty much every day, right?
About every 5 minutes.
That's right. And I think you probably remember version 1 and maybe some before that where version 1 didn't have drag and drop and it was really a nightmare. Huh?
Yes. Having to move around things, finagle it to where it made it work versus going in there and just moving it with a simple touch.
Right,
and being able to go up and down with it.
And it's, these are the things that we've kind of progressed all along. As you've been talking about how far the software has came from, say, version 1 that wasn't available to other detailers and now version 2 that is. All the things that we've worked out, all the things that we've learned over time by booking all these details and people like Candace using it so much and giving us, the feedback that we need. Of course, here at EasyN, we're a really big detail shop and we book tons of details so Candace really puts this thing to the test every day and so we've been able to iron out a lot of the kinks and kind of solve a lot of the problems that these guys have ahead of time.
Right, and so because of the Candace and the Detail Bookie, Dustin has the ability to take a vacation if he wants to, right?
I haven't been able
he
to.
does not do
He
that.
still hasn't done it.
That sounds good.
It does sound good. No, I absolutely.
It's a good idea.
He has the ability to. I just don't think he has the gumption.
I'll make a note of that.
No, he's got too much that he has ideas for.
That's right. But no, so Candace does make it all possible. And before software, everybody would run to me or we would have our pricing down on paper but it would always look back to me to kind of give these prices and we were shooting from the hip and kind of giving that unprofessional look and prices fluctuated and there just was no consistency. And now with the software, it allows somebody like Candace to sit there and to really know her pricing and which she's an integral part. We're in the middle of kind of a price adjustment right now as well. And so we're going through on a daily basis and kind of auditing our prices and stuff like that. So she's heavily involved in all of that. She's more than just a scheduler or an estimator. Like she says, she's the customer relations manager and no question about it, she does a fantastic job at that. So if you want to, so what we want to show today is what Candace basically does every day and how the software helps her do that. But we'll start with simply creating a customer. That's one of the first things that we want that we ask a detailer to do. When they come on the software, the very first thing they need to do is create a customer. Without customers on the site, it's basically useless. So you can tell them, Candace, how would you go about? What would be the first thing that you do?
First thing is just ask them if they have had anything done with us in the past.
That's right.
If they have not, create them a profile. That way they can log on to it later on and view whatever we've done for them.
That makes a lot of sense, and I don't think that we brought that up, but if you've already got customers in there, the first thing you need to do is search for a customer. The first thing you ask is, hey, have you been with us before? Now, chances are, if it's a guy that's that's answering his own phone, one-man shop or whatever, he's probably going to know his customer base. And I guess you probably receive a lot of phone calls where if they're a customer already. So you go in there and automatically just search them. It pops right up. It looks really good on the phone. So but if you get a new customer and just say they call in, we don't find them, you're going to go in there and create that customer.
Yeah, I'm going to ask them their first and last name, email address, phone number. That way, in the future, we have their stuff saved. That way, if they do call back a year later, we can look it up.
That's right. And, that's one of the key parts. So before we had software, we were kind of scrambling around. I mean, we would have customer tickets.
We had it on paper.
Yeah, that's right. But you would have to go through binders to find a ticket or binders to go through customers. And there's no way that you could follow up with those customers or there's no way that you could go in and say send out text advertising at a later date to those customers, because they were all in these big binders on paper. And the software allows you to save this information and then report on it at later dates and send notifications and all that. So once you start to enter customers, then everything else starts to work behind the scenes in a sense. So as you can see, the Brian and Candace here are plugging in the phone numbers and the email, which is crucial information. So name is obvious, but you want to get their contact information, and it's not just to have it stored. This is going to generate notifications, whether it be email or telephone or phone, that will let them know what's going on with their job.
Let's go ahead and put that.
Yeah, let's add that zip code. Or area code, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Okay.
So you can see how easy that is. Now, there's some other options right here within the customer profile that you can deselect. So you could select that if this was a number that wouldn't receive text messages, if this was a landline, if this was someone that says, hey, I don't want to get messages, then you could go in there and quickly disable that, and that's going to allow you to control whether this customers get messages. What percentage would you say that we do that for here at Easy?
Maybe 2.
Right, exactly. So
Maybe
it's very minimal when a customer doesn't want communication. And so that shows you how important, when we deal with thousands and thousands of customers, if we only have 5 out of thousands of customers, that tells you these customers want to communicate. They want to hear from you. They want to know what's going on with their detail. And so without the software, they're not getting that communication. So
whenever you initially make the profile itself, it sends them a text message saying they now have a profile created through EasyN. And they love that.
And see, that's something that we haven't talked about. And honestly, truth be told, is I probably had forgotten about it. And I'm really glad Candace brought that up. So it gives them a welcome message, so they could go directly into there and immediately see the work that's being done. So as you generate tickets or whatnot, they can follow along. And see what's going on. So.
Sure. So the next step of the process, after we created our customer, we want to book a job. That's kind of step number 2. Yeah. So this button right up here goes to book a job.
And so book job terminology, you can either create an estimate or book the job. So just because you're clicking book job doesn't mean that job's confirmed.
Yeah, they're not married to that.
That's right. That's exactly right. So you're generating a ticket for this job. And that's what you need to know. So you're here in the back office of Detail Bookie. This would be specific to yours, and you got your customer created, and now you're working on the estimate.
Right. And so we have the ability here to either do an in-house job or on the road. So we've got the mobile unit that can do that here. I think we did that for the last one.
Yeah, let's keep it in-house this time.
Sure. All right. Now we're going to select the vehicle. If you already have this customer created, they've got vehicles already here, then it's real simple. They'll be listed right up here at the top, and you'll just click them, and all the information's in there. Otherwise, we would need to go ahead and create a new customer a new vehicle.
A new vehicle. So if they didn't have one that was already saved, if this was an existing customer, chances are they'd have vehicle saved. It's really quick. If not, we can go in here and add a new vehicle.
Yeah, and we can add the VIN number, we can add the year, especially whenever it comes to fleet services or something. We can put the truck number, different things like that. That way they can kind of
That's right. And one thing to know about that is, so you can set that up however you want to. So like on our boat sides, we track the whole ID. On our fleet services, we do truck numbers. And those are traits within the software that you can set up, and you can make them either mandatory or optional. So when a customer is booking their own job, if it's a fleet service and you need that truck number, then you make that trait mandatory, and they have to fill that out. They have to fill out that blank. It's just like the make, the model, the truck number, and they have to fill those out. And again, that's completely customizable. So any detailer that gets this and says, I do whatever moped dealership, and I need the moped numbers, and you can put that trait in there for mopeds, and there you go. So
that way you're not looking at 60 different white mopeds. You're actually looking at the number, so you know which one you did which day.
You know exactly the one that you've done. And I told that story maybe yesterday about when we had 4 blue sea hunts out on the lot, and this is before we tracked the whole ID. And so we have 4 blue sea hunts, no way to distinguish the 4. And so Pole IDs or VIN numbers are really crucial when you're doing a lot of work, and we have a big shop like we do.
Yeah.
It's really imperative that you get that information.
Because only so many people keep their registration information in the boat.
Absolutely. And we've dug through looking for it, so no question about it.
So Candace really doesn't run into this problem because she's well seasoned on the software. She knows the pricing and packages. But of course, if you didn't, let's say you're maybe got a new employee, or maybe it's a husband and wife team, and the wife's not completely familiar with all the services that you offer. At least maybe the in-depth services within a package. We can easily click this pricing menu, and it's going to open up a separate window that shows you all the packages that are available for this size vehicle.
That's right, and it's going to list the services and the available add-ons that are specific to that package.
Right, and so we can scroll down and we can tell exactly what the price is going to be for the, full exterior detail with scratch removal. We can see what services are included, and then of course we get to see what add-ons are going to pop up.
All right.
Yeah. The software is smart enough to know that if you have an express detail, that it's not going to offer up a ceramic coat. Without actually going through all the processes to making it preparing it for the ceramic coat.
And I know that really helps, especially when you were first starting, Candace, to kind of filter out some of the options that maybe aren't available for that specific package.
Exactly. Because like you said, an express vehicle detail is not going to want ceramic, or not going to need ceramic coat. And you can't do that. It's not. The vehicle itself is not.
You got to do the prep work first,
yes,
and in order to do the prep work, you got to pick that package.
Right.
So an express wash shouldn't have a clay bar available to it, or shouldn't have a ceramic coating, and the system's set up that way. So by default, you're going to get these answers. Again, these are solutions to problems that we had in the past that we solved, and then we implemented within the software, and now it solves it forever. Nobody will ever have that problem again because now it's set up that way.
Yeah.
So from here, we've got our pricing menu. We've already scrolled through that. We're going to go ahead and pick a package. So we'll go ahead and throw, we'll do that full exterior detail with scratch removal. You will see that ceramic coat does come up here. And of course, we'll want to make this car shine and keep that shine forever. And we'll throw a couple more options in there. Okay, now you can, of course, we do have a full package set up that you can create those, both interior and exterior, and a lot of detailers out there do offer those type of packages.
They do, yeah. Those are combined packages where you're basically including an exterior and an interior service all in one package. Right. Here at EZN, we used to do that a while back, but we decided that we wanted to split it out because what would happen inevitably, the car would get here and they had booked for an express wash inside and out, and the interior needed a full. So we always had to line item that out or something. So we split our packages up. Now we do things really specific to the exterior.
Yeah.
And what's specific.
And the customer, we've noticed the customer loves that.
They love
because
that. That's right.
we can tell them exactly what they're getting because it's on there, especially when they're booking online as well. They can read it and see, hey, I need this in one thing, but I don't need this in the other.
Well, doesn't it make sense that if my inside is one condition, that doesn't mean my outside's going to be in the same condition?
No.
So at my outside, I may wash it every day, and my inside, I may have never vacuumed it. So there's differences there. So but there are plenty of shops that offer combined packages, and we've made that available to them. They can absolutely add those. I think as a default, we have a couple of them in there. But we really like to see everybody kind of geared towards that same mindset of exterior and interior because it makes sense. It's a good business decision that as people will learn over time, especially when they have an online booking site. So
absolutely. All right, so we've already we went ahead and selected our exterior and interior package here, and you'll look down here at the bottom. We show the estimate. And from here, you can either save that estimate. Let's say the person's on the phone and you're just, wanting to just give them what that estimate is going to look like, but they necessarily aren't ready to book that job. You can easily save that estimate. And of course, it's going to keep it in the software under the customer profile.
Yeah.
So, Candace, you've seen this screen plenty of times.
Yeah. Once you save that estimate, you can do that. It does not, at that point, send them that ticket. However, once you go to the next screen, it has a drop down.
Yeah, where you can send that.
You can.
Doesn't that allow, so the fact that it doesn't send that to them right away allows us to create an estimate and really make sure that we like it before we send that to the customer.
Yeah, that way, because the next screen actually shows us the actual invoice of how it's going to be detailed out. Once we look at it, we can see, because, if you forget that the interior does not have shampoo in or something and go, they needed that. You can add that to it.
Yeah.
Something to that, kind of tweak it if you needed to.
You have the flexibility to make those changes here without the customer seeing it yet. So, and that's the beauty of the that to not automatically send, but to save it as an estimate that's in-house, and then you can turn around and send it once you have it fine-tuned.
Yeah, and once you send it to them, I mean, I've never met anyone, spoke to anyone that was not happy.
That's right.
Go, oh, I can actually see what it says. I can read out all the details of that detail.
That's right. So they know what to expect. So you got to think in the detail industry as a whole, most of the time these guys are just listing off, here's what I do, here's my price, and you know that customer's not sitting there writing everything down.
No, not at
all.
all.
So as soon as they hang up, they said, what did he say?
Yeah.
And then now if they come a couple weeks later, they may think you said one thing, you think you said the next, and now there's room for error.
Yeah, and I can go back straight to that now and say, no, this is exactly what we told you.
That's right. That's right. This is what we told you. This is what we sent you, and everybody's on the same page. It eliminates that pain point.
Right.
And you saying that's what it sent you, you also have the ability to go in there and look at it and make sure it did send it to that person.
Absolutely. So there's a notification tab in there where you can go in there and make sure that customer saw that. Something that we haven't spoke of is there's an estimate approval, and we use it every now and then here at EZN. But there's a way, if you scroll to the top of the ticket, and then there's a drop down up top by the name, and then you can send a send approval request. So what that's going to do is that's going to send them a link, and that's going to send them a link to be able to approve this estimate. And it's going to show up as a red, you see the red check. Once you send that, that's going to say, it's going to be yellow. And then once they give you the green light, once they say, yes, this is approved, it's going to go green. So that's something, if you make a change to an estimate or make a change to a scheduled job, you can ask for approval on the fly. And all that's set up to work behind the scenes. Again, this is not stuff that you have to build or set up. This comes out of the box just like this.
Right. So let's say we did go ahead and get the approval on that estimate. We want to throw that on the schedule. All we got to do is click the schedule button, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then that's going to bring up our calendar. Now, we've already booked out a few days, so we'll go ahead and skip on to the next day. We're going to simply drag this down and slide it in. Okay, this pops up. This is going to show us the estimated time that this job should take. And if we wanted, for some reason, we didn't want to go 11:15, we want to go 11:30, we can easily go in here and modify that. So it's not a big deal to move it up and down the schedule, to switch bays perhaps, or even days.
Yeah, and I know Candace does a ton of this. I know she does a ton of moving our schedule around. So we're a big shop. We have a lot going on. People are kind of coming and going all day. And so she's always manipulating that schedule. So to be able to edit things manually along with the drag and drop is wonderful.
Oh,
it makes it seamless.
Very, yes.
So here we are. We've got it on our schedule here. We got 11:30. We want to go into this ticket here. And from here, we're going to have several different options. Several different things are going to trigger different notifications. Right here is going to be the actual job status. And so currently it's scheduled. Let's say that they are ready to be checked in. They've brought their vehicle up. Simply clicking this checked in is going to now notify not only the customer that their vehicle has been checked in if you have that notification turned on.
Sure.
It's also going to, let's say you've got a car crew in this case, it's going to send a notification to the car crew to let them know that their vehicle, maybe the next job for them has already been checked in.
Yeah, so how do you use that on a day-to-day? Is that how you use that?
Yeah. I check it in. It sends a notification directly to our detailers because, I mean, we have walkie-talkies. However, they are not always on them.
Yeah, that's right.
They're mostly on their phones. So they'll check that text message way sooner than they'll check that.
That's exactly right. So these status changes, and you pretty much for the most part you do the status changes.
Yeah, I can check it in. They'll tell me they're about to get started on it. I can go ahead and put it in progress. Once it gets in progress, it sends a notification to that customer as well.
Yeah.
That customer, they see it and they go, oh wow, they're already on it.
So you never have to think twice about whether the customer is being informed, with a click of a button.
Or you can take it, go back to that right there. You can take it to where you don't have to send them that notification.
So when would you, so what would be a situation where you would not send the customer a notification?
Well, when they started about 2 hours ago, when they didn't, the detail crew didn't tell me they put it in progress.
Yeah, when we were supposed to start it early in the morning, and we started it in the afternoon or something, but we knew that we had some time to manipulate on that job. Every now and then that we would shift it into in progress without letting the customer know, or maybe changing the status of it. And the flexibility to be able to do that. We all know that things happen behind the scenes, and especially on a detail business, you got to change things on the fly. It's just the nature of the business, and to be able to make those changes and have the flexibility to not tell the customer is absolutely wonderful. So you don't have to change your workflow. You don't have to say, okay, man, I always put my jobs in progress. I always do my QC. I always do my pickup. All right, you can do that still even when things change. And that's really some of the little nuances of this software that we've built into it, that we've solved problems. And that's what makes it really valuable to a detailer.
Right. And so you as a detailer are going to notice a lot of these things, and you probably won't even realize that they're there for a very specific reason until you run into that problem, and then you have that solution at your fingertips.
Oh, yeah.
And you know why it's there is because we had that problem.
Right.
It came up.
Yeah. We needed to push a job in a certain status, and we couldn't do it. So.
Right. So now down here, we've got our fully itemized estimate here. So from this invoice menu, you have the ability to request the deposit. You can also send them that invoice like we did kind of up there at the top. And what I did was I created a little video that we're going to go ahead and look at real quick. It just basically shows what that looks like from a customer's perspective once they receive that estimate.
That's right. So you're going to see a ticket that you created here, and what you're doing is shooting over, and I know Candace does this all the time, is shooting a ticket over there for them to check out and see. So this is basically me saying, here's what I read off to you, here's what I heard you say, and I want you to make sure that you like what you see.
Because they could be doing it for their husband and have to go back and tell their husband exactly what was getting done. And
that's exactly right.
I don't remember.
Yeah, or if it's a work vehicle that they're having done and they need a copy, or there's so many options. But this is what the notification looks like to take them. This is what the customer sees when they get the notification that their ticket has arrived. And basically, they log in right here. They'll log in with their phone number. And they don't need a password. So once you created that customer with their name and telephone number, their account was created. They do not have to have a password. They can log in. The code's going to go right to their phone. This way they don't have to think about a password. You didn't have to set one. You don't have to go through all that issue.
And there they are. I mean, you've just logged in. It didn't take but a second to get that code. Now you're looking at that estimate. You're able to sit there and go through line by line and know this is exactly what I wanted. Or at any point in time, you can say this isn't what I wanted.
Absolutely.
And reach back out.
Well, forgive me if I'm wrong, but they can also, if they see that, they can also edit themselves.
Yeah, they can make changes. They can edit through the more options tab. They can edit an estimate. That's right. As long as it's not a scheduled job, they can go in and edit the estimate. All they do is select that, and then when they get ready, of course you can see the deposit is required. So if they're going to schedule it themselves, they'll have to pay the deposit. If they call in and schedule, then the person that scheduled it has the flexibility whether they want to require a deposit or not. So if we have a regular customer that we're not going to charge a deposit.
Yeah, if we have that person that's in here every week and a half, 2 weeks, and we have a lot of those.
Sure we do.
We're not going to send him a deposit request. He would get offended by that.
That's right. Yeah,
but,
we know they're coming, so we don't.
But Joe Blow off the street, I mean, that's a big job to not have a guarantee that he may not show up.
That's right. And so that's a place on our schedule. That means we're turning down other work to go into that schedule. So we need something that keeps him committed to that job, as committed as we are. So we've pushed off other jobs to push him there. So we're committed to him. This allows him to be committed to us.
Yeah.
That's right. And even through the notifications that they're going to receive, say this job is 2 weeks out, they're going to receive a notification prior to remind them that they, even if they forgot about maybe the $227 that they've committed to this detail, if they forget about the time, well, now you've got automated reminders, so you're not going to actually, as the employee, go in, shoot them a text message, shoot them, call them, trying to remind them this is all set up, it's automated. No balls ever dropped with that. That's in place.
There's an event set up on the system where it sends them 24 hours ahead of when their appointment is.
An appointment reminder, and we're all familiar with that at the doctor's office or the dentist's office. Well, if they're professional enough to do it, why aren't the detailers? Sure. If we can't fall right in line with that professionalism, then something's wrong. And now we can. These things have been built into our system that make you legitimize your business as it should be. And now you can charge professional prices because you're putting out a professional front, such as a dentist office or a doctor's office.
Yeah, I mean, a hair salon does it, so therefore,
why
they're doing a
service. Detailers, and the reason that they're doing it is because these softwares haven't been available. The software hasn't been available to them, so everybody was just kind of winging it for the last 30, 40, 50 years. Right. And now is the time to change. Now is the time that this software is available to you. Now is the time to get in here and get on here and give yourself what you deserve,
That's
and be the professional that you should be.
And be one of our testimonials. I mean, everybody that's come onto the software can, I mean, within a month, 2 months, say this software has made me money.
Yeah.
It's got us more organized, and it's made us more professional. And you feed off that, and you definitely put that back into your business.
Absolutely, it's wonderful. I mean, we love it.
It keeps up with your week there. You can see the money you're making at that point.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny to see, and we do this every day. Is kind of where's our dashboard at, and if you want to pull up our dashboard, you can go ahead and show it. Basically, it's a competition within yourself, within house to compare, week to week, day to day, month to month. So, so it's really cool at a glance to see kind of where you stand. Right now, we're having an off week. We had some storms come in, and which really changed the schedule. But you can see the impact that it's had on our day and week.
You can see the negative that it is, or I mean, you can see the positive.
In most cases, these are positive numbers. In most cases, we're always beating the week behind us, and it becomes competition to us. So
competition with yourself now.
Yes,
that's right. It becomes competition with ourselves, which means for really good business.
Yeah, we always want to try to better ourselves. That's our main goal.
It really is, and we strive for that every week. And this software is what allows that.
Right, so we've got different views as far as our calendar is concerned. We can pull up, this is last month's calendar. We have the ability to show you the monthly view, or weekly view, or you can go into daily.
Why don't you hover over one of those jobs and show them? So they got information that comes up. So some of the other softwares out there that offer these calendar views, they're just dots, or they're just, symbols on a calendar, and they really mean nothing. They're kind of color coded, I guess, in a sense. But, this thing's really going to show you what's there. And when you have a week scheduled out, you're going to need to know if it's just an express watch down there on the end. You're going to need to know if you need to rebook something, or if you need to get some more business down in the week. And you can do it at a quick glance here, or you can drill into those jobs really quickly and see what's going on. So the functionality within the calendar and the views are really important.
Yep.
All right. So this is, we'll kind of start wrapping it up, I guess. For the simple fact of this is day 3 of Sema 360. We are in Vegas in our minds.
Yes, we are.
In spirit.
Are you there yet?
No, I'm not there yet.
Okay, well,
she's on her way.
That's right.
Going back to that desk to schedule stuff.
Well, we got to run those numbers up. So
that's right.
But yeah, so no, I'm really glad that you were able to make it in here, Candace, and it was really important for us to show somebody that uses the software every day, show the impact that it has had on your life and your daily work, your daily work life for sure.
It's made it where I don't have to bug you as much.
Right, and which just helps me tremendously. But it gives us that professional look, and she does an absolutely wonderful job. Enough can't be said about the job that she does here at EZN and how important her role is. And so it was good to have you on. I'm glad you jumped in here and joined us. And it's going to be fun. I know we got.
Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow we're going to dig into pricing. We're going to dig into creating packages. We're going to go through kind of that dynamic pricing, model that we mentioned.
That's right.
How you've got different prices for a coupe to a large SUV to a van, and whenever you're on that booking site, you're only going to be seeing prices that are in relation to what type of vehicle that you have.
Which is really, really cool and very important for us to show you that. I think we got some other stuff coming up on the last episode. I don't know that it's been absolutely confirmed, so we don't let the cat out of the bag.
Pretty confirmed.
Let's just say we may have some more guests on the show, so that would be really cool if we can do that. But hey, don't forget, guys, if you're following us on Facebook Live or following us on social media, happen to see a video and see this, we really want you to throw out some comments, some questions out there. Shoot us a message, text message, however you got to do it. Talk to us, engage with us. We want to answer those questions. If you have anything that's specific that we've missed or that we didn't cover that you'd like to see, I'd love to be able to answer that for them. If you want to see a demo with Ryan, I know his calendar link is available in a few places.
Yeah, it's on Sema 360. It's also on Facebook, or you can go to detailedbookie.com. Schedule a demo. Any one of those places get you to me.
And really do that, guys. We want you to see this thing and how it can be specific to your business. And Ryan does a great job. He's not going to tie you up all day. 15, 20 minutes. He can run through it pretty quick. You've seen a lot of videos, so you've seen some of the features already. Let's see how this thing can be specific to your business. and make you great.
That's right. So join us back here tomorrow for SEMA 360. We will be going over again prices, packaging, a lot of good stuff. Maybe have some special guests at 3 o'clock. Go to SEMA 360 to find out more information about us, or detailbookie.com, and of course you can find us on Facebook.
Make sure to schedule a demo, guys.
Right.
Seriously, you're missing out if you're not. It's not a matter of if you need software. It's when are you going to get it? When are you going to pull that trigger to change your life? When are you going to decide to be the professional that you deserve to be? When are you going to do the work in the back office to make you look great and to make you have that professional front? We know that pricing is always an issue. This software does a lot to solve that problem with notifications and communicating to the customers. So look, lots of that. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up tomorrow, and excited. Hopefully those guests join in, and it's good seeing you guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.